Most people spend their entire lives eating the same dozen fruits they find at the grocery store, without ever knowing that somewhere in the world, a fruit grows on its own bark. A fruit makes everything taste sweet, and a fruit contains flesh that looks and tastes exactly like chocolate pudding. Welcome to Evergreen Garden. Today we are covering 25 of the rarest and most exotic fruits on Earth, where they come from, why they matter, and how you might encounter them. Subscribe and let us get into it. 1. Durian, Durio zibethinus. Durian is the most polarizing fruit on Earth, banned from hotels and public transport across Southeast Asia because of its extraordinary odor, yet described by devotees as a creamy, custardy experience unlike anything else in the plant kingdom, earning it the title King of Fruits across Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia. Native to Borneo and Sumatra, durian has been cultivated for thousands of years and holds near mythological status in Southeast Asian culture. American naturalist Alfred Russel Wallace, who traveled the region in the 1850s, wrote that durian's taste was worth enduring any hardship to experience, calling it the richest and most satisfactory food imaginable. Research confirmed that the complex sulfur compounds responsible for durian's famous odor, primarily ethanethiol and diethyl disulfide, are identical to compounds produced during protein breakdown, explaining both the intense smell and the fruit's unusual savory undertones. Available at Asian grocery stores across the United States, durian grows in USDA zones 10 through 12. Eat fresh or in sticky rice. 2. Mangosteen, Garcinia mangostana. Mangosteen is called the queen of fruits, encasing snow-white, segmented flesh in a deep purple rind so beautiful it appears artificial, with a flavor combining the sweetness of peach, the tartness of citrus, and the floral quality of lychee into something genuinely unlike any other fruit in the world. Native to the Malay archipelago and cultivated for at least 1,000 years, mangosteen became so famous in Europe that Queen Victoria is said to have offered a reward to anyone who could bring her a fresh one, reflecting the extraordinary mystique the fruit held among 19th century traders and explorers. Research confirmed that mangosteen contains xanthones, a unique class of polyphenols with documented anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and antifungal properties. Fresh mangosteen is available at Asian specialty stores when in season. It grows in USDA zones 10 through 12 only. 3. Jabuticaba, Plania cauliflora. Jabuticaba is the Brazilian tree that produces grape-like clusters of dark purple fruit directly on its own trunk and major branches rather than on new growth, covering the bark so completely when ripe that the entire tree appears draped in dark grapes, one of the strangest sights in all of botany. Native to Brazil's Atlantic forest, jabuticaba is so embedded in Brazilian culture that the word has become a Portuguese idiom for something uniquely bizarre that cannot be explained to outsiders. The tree fruits multiple times per year, but the fruit ferments naturally within 3 days of ripening, which is why it is almost never found fresh outside Brazil. Research confirmed that jabuticaba contains significant anthocyanins in the skin, with antioxidant activity comparable to blueberries, plus specific anti-inflammatory compounds unique to this species. Fresh jabuticaba is extremely rare outside Brazil, but the tree grows in USDA zones 9 through 11. 4. Cherimoya, Annona cherimola. Cherimoya is the Andean fruit Mark Twain called the most delicious fruit known to men, producing scale-covered green fruits with a white custard flesh that blends banana, pineapple, papaya, and vanilla into an impossibly complex combination that tastes more like a handmade dessert than something that grew on a tree. Native to the Andes of Ecuador and Peru, cherimoya was cultivated by pre-Columbian civilizations who prized it as a luxury food. Research confirmed that cherimoya seeds and leaves contain acetogenins with documented anti-cancer activity in laboratory studies. The fruit flesh provides significant vitamin C, B vitamins, and potassium. Cherimoya grows in USDA zones 9 through 11 in mild coastal climates. It is widely available at Latin American markets and upscale grocery stores in California and Florida. Eat chilled, scooped from the skin with a spoon, removing the seeds before eating. 5. Black sapote, Diospyros nigra. Black sapote is the Mexican fruit called the chocolate pudding fruit, because its ripe flesh genuinely looks, feels, and tastes almost exactly like rich chocolate mousse, despite containing no chocolate or cocoa whatsoever, making it one of the most surprising eating experiences in the entire fruit world, and a genuinely useful low-fat dessert alternative. Related to persimmons and native to Mexico and Central America, black sapote has been cultivated since pre-Columbian times. Spanish missionaries described the unusual brown flesh with some disbelief in their journals, and the fruit has remained largely unknown outside its growing region despite its extraordinary flavor and nutritional profile. Research confirmed that black sapote is exceptionally low in fat, while delivering a texture and flavor that satisfies chocolate cravings. Black sapote grows in USDA zones 9 through 11 and is available at Florida and California specialty nurseries. 6. Miracle fruit, Syncephalum dulcificum. Miracle fruit is the West African berry that transforms your entire perception of taste for up to 90 minutes after eating it, making lemons and vinegar taste intensely sweet through a glycoprotein called miraculin that binds to sweet taste receptors and activates them only in the presence of acid. Native to West Africa and known to local populations for centuries, miracle fruit was described by European explorers in the 18th century with complete bewilderment. It has attracted research interest as a potential tool for cancer patients whose chemotherapy treatment distorts the perception of sweetness, making food taste metallic or unpleasant. Research published in Chemical Senses confirmed that miraculin binds to taste receptor cells and undergoes a structural change at low pH, activating the sweet receptor pathway and producing perceived sweetness from acid compounds that would otherwise taste sour. Miracle fruit grows in USDA zones 10 through 12 as a frost-sensitive shrub. Freeze-dried miracle fruit tablets are available online. 7. Ackee, Blaya sapida. Ackee is the national fruit of Jamaica and the foundation of the national dish alongside saltfish, but it is also one of the most dangerous commonly eaten fruits when prepared incorrectly, containing hypoglycin A in the unripe arils and seeds, a compound that causes Jamaican vomiting sickness when consumed before the fruit has fully and naturally opened. Native to West Africa, Ackee was brought to Jamaica by enslaved people in the 18th century and became embedded in Caribbean culture. Captain William Bligh, of Mutiny on the Bounty fame, is credited with introducing it to European and Caribbean botany, which is why his name appears in the plant's Latin classification. Research confirmed that hypoglycin A in unripe Ackee inhibits fatty acid oxidation, causing severe hypoglycemia. Ripe, naturally opened Ackee with seeds removed is entirely safe, providing protein, healthy fats, and vitamin C. Canned Ackee imported from Jamaica is available at Caribbean grocery stores across the United States. The fresh fruit grows in USDA zones 10 through 12. Always use only fruit that has naturally opened before harvest. 8. Dragon fruit, Selinus cereus undatus. Dragon fruit is the spectacular cactus fruit whose brilliant fuchsia or yellow skin, covered in green-tipped scales, makes it one of the most visually striking fruits in any market, while the mild, slightly sweet flesh, dotted with tiny black seeds, surprises anyone expecting intensity to match such a dramatic exterior. Native to Mexico and Central America, dragon fruit spread through the Americas before French colonists introduced it to Vietnam in the 19th century, where it became commercially dominant. Vietnam is now the world's largest producer, and the crop has become economically significant across tropical Asia and California. Research confirmed that dragon fruit contains betalains, the same red pigments found in beets, with documented antioxidant properties. Red-fleshed varieties contain significantly higher antioxidant concentrations than white-fleshed varieties. Dragon fruit grows in USDA zones 9 through 11 as a climbing cactus. 9. Snake fruit, Salaka zalaka. Snake fruit is the Indonesian palm fruit whose brown, scaly skin looks exactly like snake scales, peeling away to reveal 3 crisp lobes of flesh, with a distinctive flavor that shifts between sweet, acidic, and astringent in each bite, making it one of the most complex and surprising taste experiences in Southeast Asian fruit markets. Native to Java and Sumatra, Snake fruit, or salak, is cultivated across Indonesia and holds cultural significance as a food for celebrations and offerings. Indonesian varieties from the Pondo cultivar of Yogyakarta are particularly prized for sweetness and are exported across Asia. Research confirmed that snake fruit contains tannins responsible for the astringent quality, plus significant potassium, calcium, and beta-carotene. Traditional Indonesian medicine uses it to improve memory, with modest research supporting effects on neural function. Snake fruit is available at Asian specialty grocery stores and can be ordered online. It grows in USDA zones 10 through 12. 10. Jackfruit, Artocarpus heterophyllus. Jackfruit is the world's largest tree-borne fruit, growing up to 100 pounds on a single tree, with a spiny green exterior and yellow flesh that, when unripe, produces a pulled pork-like texture, making jackfruit the most popular meat substitute in the global plant-based food movement. Native to South and Southeast Asia, jackfruit has been cultivated in India and Bangladesh for at least 3,000 years, as documented in ancient texts. Research confirmed that jackfruit seeds contain prebiotic compounds supporting gut health. The ripe fruit provides significant vitamin C, potassium, and B vitamins, while unripe jackfruit contains unusually high fiber content. Jackfruit grows in USDA zones 10 through 12. Canned, unripe jackfruit in brine is widely available at Asian and Indian grocery stores nationwide. 11. Finger lime, Microcitrus australasica. Finger lime is the Australian native citrus called citrus caviar because its finger-shaped fruits contain hundreds of tiny round vesicles that pop in the mouth like caviar, releasing an intensely tart, complex citrus burst that chefs worldwide have adopted as the most visually striking and flavor-intense citrus garnish in modern cuisine. Native to the subtropical rainforests of southeast Queensland, finger lime was gathered by Australian Aboriginal peoples for thousands of years before it was discovered commercially. It remained obscure until the 1990s, when fine dining chefs adopted it and triggered a cultivation boom, making Australian finger limes one of the most sought premium citrus products globally. Research confirmed that finger lime contains folate, potassium, vitamins C and E, and unique flavonoids not found in other citrus species. Finger lime grows in USDA zones 8 through 11. Small trees are available from specialty nurseries online. 12. Breadfruit, Artocarpus altilis. Breadfruit is the Pacific Island staple that Captain William Bligh was transporting when the crew of the Bounty mutinied. A large, starchy fruit whose cooked flesh has a texture and flavor so similar to fresh bread that early European explorers used those exact words to describe it, making it the most literally named fruit in botany. Native to New Guinea and the Pacific Islands, breadfruit has sustained Pacific Island populations for over 3,000 years, producing up to 200 fruits per year on a single tree for decades. European colonial powers introduced it to the Caribbean as food for enslaved workers, which is what prompted Bligh's ill-fated 1787 voyage. Research confirmed that breadfruit provides complex carbohydrates, fiber, vitamin C, potassium, and thiamine. Studies documented that breadfruit flour has a lower glycemic index than wheat flour, with applications for blood sugar management. Breadfruit grows in USDA zones 10 through 12. Canned and frozen breadfruit is available at Caribbean and Asian grocery stores. 13. Cupuaçu, Theobroma grandiflorum. Cupuaçu is the Amazonian relative of cacao, producing brown husked fruits with a creamy white pulp surrounding cocoa-like seeds, with a flavor blending chocolate, pineapple, and pear in an impossibly tropical combination that food companies are beginning to recognize as one of the most valuable, underdiscovered flavors in the world. Native to the Amazon rainforest, cupuaçu has been a staple flavoring in Brazilian ice cream, juice, and candy for generations. The seeds can be processed into a white chocolate-like product called cupulate, and global food companies filed patents on cupuaçu ingredients in the early 2000s, triggering a significant biopiracy controversy in Brazil. Research confirmed that cupuaçu contains theograndins, polyphenolic compounds unique to this species, plus theobromine, vitamin C, and phosphorus, with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties comparable to dark chocolate. Cupuaçu pulp is available frozen and as powder from Brazilian specialty importers online. 14. Soursop, Annona muricata. Soursop, also called graviola, is the spiny Caribbean fruit whose white, fibrous flesh combines strawberry, citrus, and cream into a genuinely unique tropical experience, while simultaneously being the subject of one of the most widely discussed alternative medicine debates in oncology due to research into its acetogenin compounds. Native to the Caribbean and Central America, soursop has been used medicinally throughout tropical America for centuries, with traditional uses documented for infection, inflammation, and cancer across Caribbean, Latin American, and African folk medicine systems. Laboratory studies on soursop compounds drew intense international research interest beginning in the 1990s. Research confirmed in cell culture that soursop acetogenins are selectively toxic to cancer cells. Clinical trials in humans have not been completed. The ripe fruit contains vitamin C, B vitamins, potassium, and dietary fiber. Soursop grows in USDA zones 10 through 12 and is available at Latin American and Caribbean markets. Soursop juice, frozen pulp, and tea are widely available online. 15. Buddha's hand, Citrus medica var. Sarcodactylus. Buddha's hand is the most visually extraordinary citrus fruit in the world, a yellow fruit that has split entirely into finger-like projections resembling a hand in prayer, containing almost no pulp or juice, but producing the most intense, fragrant citrus zest of any variety, making it purely a flavoring ingredient, and one of the most evocative objects at any farmer's market. Native to northeastern India or China, and cultivated for over 1,000 years, Buddha's hand is given as a religious offering in Buddhist temples, displayed in homes as a symbol of good fortune, and gifted during Lunar New Year. It appeared in Dutch Golden Age still life paintings as a prized exotic object of the 17th century. Research confirmed that Buddha's hand contains limonene and limonoids at concentrations exceeding other citrus varieties, plus intense concentrations of volatile compounds responsible for fresh lemon fragrance. Buddha's hand grows in USDA zones 9 through 11. It is available at farmers markets and Asian stores in fall and winter. 16. Feijoa, Ackee celoiana. Feijoa, or pineapple guava, is the South American fruit that smells more intensely of tropical vacation than almost any other fruit available in temperate climates, with a flavor combining guava, pineapple, and mint eucalyptus in a small, unremarkable green package that grows reliably as a landscape shrub across a surprisingly wide range of American gardens. Native to the highlands of southern Brazil and Uruguay, feijoa was introduced to New Zealand in the early 20th century, where it became a defining national fruit with an almost cult following. New Zealand school children eat feijoa as casually as American children eat apples, and the annual feijoa season generates genuine national excitement. Research confirmed that feijoa contains high concentrations of iodine, one of the highest of any commonly available fruit, plus vitamin C, B vitamins, and polyphenolic antioxidants. Feijoa grows as a hardy shrub in USDA zones 8 through 11 and is one of the easiest exotic fruits to grow in American gardens, available at specialty nurseries and grocery stores in California. 17. Kiwano, Cucumis metuliferus. Kiwano, the horned melon of the Kalahari Desert, is the bright, orange-spined fruit containing lime-green, gelatinous interior with a flavor combining cucumber, lime, and banana, looking so genuinely alien that it has been used as a prop in multiple science fiction productions and serves as a legitimate water source for desert peoples when nothing else is available. Native to sub-Saharan Africa, kiwano has been gathered wild and cultivated for thousands of years, providing both food and water in arid environments, where the fruit's 90% water content makes it a critical survival food. Research confirmed that kiwano contains significant vitamin C, iron, magnesium, and potassium, alongside its high water content, making it genuinely nutritious beyond its visual novelty. Kiwano grows in USDA zones 9 through 11 as a warm season annual vine similar to cucumber, available at specialty grocery stores. 18. Lúcuma, Puteria lúcuma. Lúcuma is the Peruvian fruit called the gold of the Incas, producing dry, starchy sweet flesh with a flavor combining maple syrup, sweet potato, and caramel, cherished by Andean civilizations for thousands of years, and now emerging as one of the most sought-after natural sweeteners in health food markets because of its remarkably low glycemic index. Native to the Andean valleys of Peru, Ecuador, and Chile, lúcuma was cultivated by the Incas and depicted in pre-Columbian ceramics dating to 2000 BCE. Peru remains the world's primary producer, and lúcuma ice cream is the most popular ice cream flavor in the country, surpassing chocolate and vanilla in national consumption surveys. Research confirmed that lúcuma has a glycemic index of approximately 25, significantly lower than most sweeteners, plus beta-carotene, vitamin B3, iron, and zinc, alongside documented anti-inflammatory and skin-healing properties. Lúcuma powder is widely available at natural food stores and online. 19. Tamarillo, Solanum bataceum. Tamarillo is the tree tomato from the Andes, a smooth-skinned red or yellow egg-shaped fruit belonging to the same family as tomatoes and peppers, with a complex flavor shifting between tart tomato and tropical sweetness that makes it a culinary bridge between savory and sweet applications that traditional Andean cooks have exploited for centuries. Native to the Andes of Bolivia, Peru, and Ecuador, tamarillo was cultivated by indigenous peoples long before European contact. New Zealand renamed it the tamarillo in 1967 as a marketing decision to increase appeal and developed commercial cultivation, making New Zealand the primary exporter to the United States and European markets today. Research confirmed that tamarillo is an excellent source of vitamins A, C, E, and B6, plus potassium, iron, and anthocyanins. Tamarillo grows in USDA zones 10 through 11, available at Latin American markets and gourmet grocery stores. 20. Rambutan, Nephelium lepacium. Rambutan is the Southeast Asian fruit that looks exactly like a small red sea urchin covered in soft hair-like spines, opening to reveal translucent white flesh, almost identical to lychee in flavor, but with a slightly milder, creamier profile, and a visual drama that makes it one of the most memorable fruits in any tropical market worldwide. Native to the Malay archipelago and cultivated for thousands of years, rambutan takes its name from the Malay word for hair, rambut, describing the distinctive spines. It became commercially significant in export markets in the late 20th century and is now available canned and occasionally fresh at Asian grocery stores throughout the United States. Research confirmed that rambutan skin contains ellagic acid with documented anti-cancer and anti-inflammatory properties. The flesh provides vitamin C, calcium, iron, and phosphorus. Rambutan grows in USDA zones 10 through 12. Fresh rambutan is available at Asian grocery stores when imported. 21. Longan, Dimorcarpus longan. Longan is the Chinese fruit called dragon eye because its peeled form reveals a round white flesh with a single dark seed visible through the translucent pulp that looks precisely like an eyeball, with a sweet, musky, floral flavor subtler than lychee but equally addictive, forming the base for beloved Chinese dessert soups and herbal teas. Native to South China and cultivated for at least 2,000 years, longan appears in ancient Chinese poetry and holds deep cultural significance as a symbol of good luck, eaten at weddings and celebrations. Chinese immigrants introduced longan cultivation to Hawaii and Florida in the late 19th century, and both states now produce commercially significant crops supplying fresh fruit to Asian grocery stores. Research confirmed that longan flesh and dried longan are used in traditional Chinese medicine for calming and tonic properties attributed to polysaccharides and flavonoids. Studies documented antioxidant and neuroprotective activity in longan extracts. Longan grows in USDA zones 9 through 11. Fresh longan is widely available at Asian grocery stores in late summer and fall. 22. Abiu, Puteria kaimito. Abiu is the Amazonian fruit almost entirely unknown outside South America, producing smooth, golden yellow spheres whose translucent white flesh has a flavor described by everyone who tastes it as the closest any fruit comes to vanilla custard, with a caramel sweetness and creamy texture exceeding any other fruit in the Puteria family for sheer dessert-like pleasure. Native to the Amazon basin, abiu has been cultivated by indigenous peoples throughout Amazonian Brazil, Peru, Colombia, and Ecuador for centuries, remaining a beloved regional fruit that has never achieved export status, partly because of its extremely short shelf life of less than 2 days after ripening. Research confirmed that abiu contains vitamin C, vitamin A, and significant fiber, plus polyphenolic antioxidants. Abiu grows in USDA zones 11 through 12 and is extremely rare in the United States outside South Florida specialty growers. 23. Pawpaw, Asamina triloba. Pawpaw is the largest edible fruit native to North America, a yellow-fleshed, mango custard-flavored fruit growing wild across the eastern United States from the Atlantic coast to Nebraska, eaten by Native Americans for thousands of years, consumed by George Washington and Lewis and Clark, and today almost entirely unknown to most Americans, despite growing in their own forests. Once a staple wild food of Cherokee and Iroquois peoples, pawpaw was embraced by American settlers and frontiers people, but largely disappeared from American consciousness as refrigerated shipping made tropical fruits widely available. Research from Kentucky State University's Pawpaw program confirmed that pawpaw contains more protein and fat than most temperate fruits, plus significant vitamin C, magnesium, iron, and manganese. The leaves and bark contain powerful pesticidal compounds. Pawpaw grows as a native understory tree in USDA zones 5 through 8, with minimal care once established. 24. Marula, Sclerocaria berea. Marula is the South African fruit famous for the legend that African elephants seek out fermented fallen marula to get intoxicated, a story that is largely myth, but reflects the enormous attraction the tart, tropical-flavored, oil-rich fruit holds for wildlife and humans alike across sub-Saharan Africa, where it has been eaten for over 10,000 years. Native to the Miombo woodlands of sub-Saharan Africa, marula has been harvested since at least the Stone Age, with evidence of consumption found in South African archaeological sites dating back 10,000 years. The Amarula cream liqueur made from fermented marula is one of the best-selling cream liqueurs in the world, introducing the fruit's flavor to international audiences. Research confirmed that marula oil from the kernel is one of the most shelf-stable natural oils known, with documented skin conditioning properties, making it a premium cosmetics ingredient. The fruit flesh contains 8 times more vitamin C than an orange. Marula is rarely available fresh outside Africa. Amarula liqueur is sold in American liquor stores. 25. Langsat, Lanceum parasiticum. Langsat is the Southeast Asian cluster fruit growing in grape-like bunches of small, translucent, sweet tart orbs that pop open to reveal segmented flesh falling perfectly between sweet grapes and fresh grapefruit, making it one of the most addictive fruits in any Southeast Asian market and one of the least known in the Western world. Native to the Malay Peninsula and cultivated for centuries across Thailand, Malaysia, and the Philippines, langsat holds particular cultural significance as a street snack eaten casually by the handful. The tree requires specific tropical conditions and a period of dry stress to fruit properly, which has limited its export potential despite its outstanding flavor. Research confirmed that langsat contains anosarenol acetate and other triterpenoids with documented anti-cancer, anti-malarial, and anti-inflammatory properties. The dried peel is burned as an insect repellent in rural Southeast Asia. Langsat grows in USDA zones 11 through 12 only and is extremely rare in the United States. Canned langsat in syrup is available at Filipino and Indonesian grocery stores. And there you have it, 25 of the rarest and most extraordinary fruits on Earth, from the king and queen of Southeast Asian tropical fruits to the custard-like Amazonian abiu, the bark-fruiting jabuticaba of Brazil, and the miracle berry that changes your sense of taste for 90 minutes. The fruit world is far stranger, more diverse, and more delicious than the grocery store aisle suggests. Subscribe to Evergreen Garden for more content every week. Give this video a thumbs up and tell us in the comments which of these 25 exotic fruits you have tried and which one you most want to taste. We will see you in the next one.